Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that the entire world's population is about to move to one side of the planet. Yes, you heard it right. The 7.8 billion people on Earth, all deciding to pack up and relocate to just one hemisphere. This is not a sci-fi plot, but a theoretical scenario that we're about to dive into. What might trigger such a colossal shift? It could be anything from a radical social movement to a dire environmental crisis. Or perhaps it's a bold experiment conducted by humanity to test the limits of our adaptability and resilience. Whatever the cause, the execution of this monumental migration would require careful consideration and unprecedented coordination among nations. Such a massive reshuffling of the human population would undoubtedly leave an indelible mark on our world. The areas left vacant would become ghost regions, while the populated side would face the pressure of accommodating billions. The scale of this migration would dwarf any population shift we've seen in our history, and it would pose unique challenges. The immediate questions that arise are numerous. How would we manage the logistics of moving so many people? What would be the environmental implications of such a large-scale migration? How would it affect our social structure and economy? And perhaps most importantly, how would we plan and build infrastructure to accommodate everyone? These are not easy questions to answer, and the potential consequences of such a scenario are far-reaching. But contemplating them allows us to explore our own resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity. It forces us to think about how our choices and actions can shape our world, for better or for worse. So as we embark on this journey of imagination, let's remember that while this scenario might seem outlandish, it serves as a thought experiment to provoke discussion and reflection about our shared future on this planet. It's a reminder of the importance of sustainable planning and development, and the delicate balance we must maintain with our environment. So buckle up as we delve into this fascinating and somewhat alarming hypothetical scenario. Moving billions of people to one side of the world isn't as simple as packing a suitcase and booking a flight. Imagine the colossal task of organizing transport for everyone. The world's current transportation systems would be stretched beyond their limits. Even if we commandeered every plane, train, and automobile available, it would take years, maybe even decades, to complete such a gargantuan move. Once everyone got to their destination, where would they stay? The existing infrastructure would be hopelessly inadequate to accommodate such a surge in population. And let's not forget about resources. Food, water, electricity, healthcare. How do we redistribute these necessities to cater to an extraordinarily concentrated population? In short, the logistical challenges of moving everyone to one side of the globe are mind-boggling. It's a Herculean task that would test the limits of human ingenuity and resourcefulness. But the challenges don't stop with logistics. The environment would also take a hit. Our planet is a delicate ecosystem, and moving everyone to one side could have dire consequences. Let's talk about the potential impact such a shift could have on our environment. First off, biodiversity, the variety of life in the world or in a particular habitat or ecosystem, could suffer a massive blow. The sudden absence of humans from large parts of the world might cause some species to thrive, but the sudden influx of humans into other areas could push many species to extinction. Imagine the delicate balance of an ecosystem disrupted, with predators and prey relationships thrown into chaos. Changes in climate patterns would also likely occur. A sudden concentration of human activity on one side of the planet could lead to drastic changes in weather patterns and rainfall distribution. The areas heavily populated might see a spike in air pollution, which in turn could lead to more frequent and severe storms. On the flip side, the areas left vacant could see drastic cooling due to the lack of human-induced heat. And then there's the massive strain on natural resources. The demand for food, water, and energy in the populated areas would skyrocket, leading to overfishing, overfarming, and overuse of water resources. This could deplete resources at a speed we've never seen before. Lastly, there's the issue of waste. With everyone crammed into one side of the world, waste management would become a major challenge. The sheer volume of waste generated could overwhelm existing waste management systems and lead to widespread pollution. In essence, the environmental impact of moving everyone to one side of the world could be catastrophic. It would disrupt ecosystems, alter climate patterns, strain natural resources, and create a waste management nightmare. While this is a hypothetical situation, it underscores the importance of careful population distribution and mindful resource management. After all, we share this planet with countless other species, and our actions have far-reaching consequences. And, as if environmental concerns weren't enough, consider the social and economic implications. Overcrowding, resource scarcity, and wealth redistribution, these are just a few of the issues we'd face. Imagine for a moment the sheer magnitude of having the entire world's population living on one side of the planet. The societal and economic implications of such a scenario are staggering. Firstly, let's consider the issue of overcrowding. With everyone packed into a limited space, we'd see a dramatic increase in population density. Cities would swell beyond their capacities, infrastructure would be stretched thin, and the demand for housing would skyrocket, likely leading to a sharp increase in property prices. This could result in a severe housing crisis, with many people unable to afford a place to live. But the complications don't stop there. With increased population density comes increased resource consumption. Food, water, energy. The demand for these basic necessities would reach unprecedented levels. Scarce resources could lead to intense competition and potentially even conflict. Now, let's think about wealth redistribution. With the entire global population confined to one side of the world, we'd likely see a massive shift in the global economy. Wealthy nations may find their economies strained by the influx of people, while poorer nations left empty could see their economies collapse entirely. The gap between the rich and the poor could widen, leading to increased inequality and social unrest. As we grapple with these issues, we must also consider the potential for cultural clashes. With people from diverse backgrounds and cultures suddenly living in close proximity, tensions could arise. While it's beautiful to imagine a world where cultures blend and thrive together, the reality might be more complex, with the potential for misunderstandings and conflicts. Yet, in the midst of these challenges, our cities and infrastructures would be put to the ultimate test. The next scene will delve deeper into the potential challenges and solutions in urban planning and infrastructure in such a scenario. So stay tuned. How do you accommodate billions of people in a limited space? It's an urban planner's worst nightmare. Imagine a world where cities must rapidly expand to accommodate a massive influx of people. The challenges are immense. Housing shortages would be inevitable, and cities would need to build upwards and outwards at an unprecedented rate. But it doesn't stop there. Think about transportation. Existing networks would be overwhelmed. Highways, railways, airports, all would need to be expanded and reimagined. And public services, schools, hospitals, police and fire departments would all need to be scaled up dramatically. The sheer magnitude of such a task is almost inconceivable. The infrastructure to support such a massive population shift doesn't exist, and creating it would be a Herculean task. Every aspect of urban planning, from zoning laws to waste management, would need to be rethought. Faced with these daunting challenges, what could be the potential solutions? In a world on the brink of chaos, innovation and sustainability could be our saving grace. To tackle the challenges of an imbalanced population distribution, we could look at more evenly dispersing human settlements across the globe. This might involve developing underpopulated areas, while ensuring that we preserve their natural ecosystems. At the same time, it is crucial to promote sustainable development. This could involve harnessing renewable energy, fostering green urban planning, and promoting eco-friendly transportation. We must also invest in digital infrastructure to facilitate remote working and learning, reducing the need for mass urban migration. In terms of resource allocation, we could explore innovative solutions such as vertical farming and desalination plants to ensure food and water security. We must also strengthen global cooperation to ensure equitable distribution of resources, especially in times of crisis. As we've seen, this theoretical scenario opens up a world of challenges and opportunities. Today, we've journeyed through a hypothetical scenario that might seem outlandish, but it forces us to think. We've imagined a world where everyone suddenly uproots and moves to one side of the globe. We've seen the potential logistical nightmares that could ensue, with traffic jams spiraling into infinity, buildings erected at breakneck speed, and resources stretched to their absolute limits. We've delved into the environmental impact, how ecosystems could crumble and wildlife scramble, as humans encroach upon their habitats. We've considered the societal and economic upheaval, the overcrowding, the resource scarcity, the potential for wealth redistribution, and the struggles of urban planning on an unprecedented scale. We've also pondered on possible solutions, alternatives that could help us address population distribution and resource allocation in a more sustainable manner. All these reflections underscore the profound impact of human population distribution on the world and the pivotal role of sustainable development. So, next time you look at a map, remember, it's not just about where we live, but how we live that truly matters.